Oh, we
Two,
nerdy news up there.
One.
Hey, I'm Russ Rollins, host of the Nerdy News, with the man who knows everything about the nerdy news, Jeff Kaufman. What's up, Jeff?
I am here, and hopefully you'll enjoy our nonsense.
Yeah, Ryan Holmes is running the board for us and everything, and he
Yeah.
helps us out with the nerdy news as well. And I wanted to start off with something. I just got out of a meeting, okay? And in this meeting, this all kind of is combined with Jeff Kaufman. And with his, he's, of course, Jeff Kaufman is an attorney, an incredible attorney, and he's been helping my father with this thing with his car. My dad had a car that was stolen. He put it up for, what do you call that? Consignment.
Yeah, he went to one of these companies that gave him a thing. Listen, when we sell it, we'll give you the money.
Yeah.
So be careful when you do that stuff. I mean, I'm a
they
comic
sold
book writer, but the other job is a lawyer.
As an attorney,
stuff happens all the time.
They sold the car, didn't give my dad the money. So that was one of the cars that my dad had that he had bought to, maybe as he retired to have some money. He has another car as well that is a 56 T-Bird that's beautiful. It was used in the new Leave It to Beaver show, and it's a beautiful car. So
Wait, your dad's car was?
Yeah, my dad's car.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, my dad's
That's cool.
Red beautiful car was in the new Leave It to Beaver show. It was Wally's car in the show, and my mom and dad would go out there to Universal when they would film and everything, and they both got to meet everybody. Well, now we're going to sell this car, but we don't want to get screwed, obviously. So this car is going to go in the Meekum auction in January.
Yeah, I got a feeling Meekum isn't screwing too many people. That's
a
multi-million-dollar auction.
And so when I had the meeting today, one of the cars they're going to have, this is like so unreal awesome because, obviously I want to get the most money as possible for my mom since they lost the other car. We want to make up for it this time. And this year, the Meekum auction is going to have one of the most famous cars in movie history, the Bullitt car that Steve McQueen used in Bullitt.
It's in movies, there are very few cars that have that. There was only one of them.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. This was the main car they used. Like Back to the Future had like 7 DeLoreans.
Yeah.
And everything else. This was one car.
The Bullitt car.
Yeah.
And Jeff, I mean, you would probably know. I mean, is that not the most famous car in cinema history?
It is the most iconic single-use car, I think, in any movie ever. And you go back, and a lot of people might know, depending on how old you are, they don't know, they might not even know Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
But this would be considered the Hollywood Grail car.
Yes.
Yep. Grail car, the holy grail of movie cars.
And for my dad's car to be in that auction that's going to get worldwide attention is a guy. I mean, that's really, really awesome. What do you think the Bullitt car from the Steve McQueen movie? I think the movie was in 69, something like that, or 71, somewhere in that area. But that car, what do you think it'll go for?
When you think of what it would go, what people would pay for it, the problem is this: it's iconic. It's a one of a kind. It's priceless. And when they say priceless, even if it didn't run, they could fix it, get it going. I own the Bullitt.
Yeah.
Any Hollywood guys worth 200, 500, 800 $1 billion.
Yeah.
It would. Jerry Seinfeld, I believe, would fork over easily 15 to 25 million for this car.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
This would be the ultimate piece to have in any collection. Go
like a Seinfeld or a Leno.
I got the Bullitt car, and here's the thing with the Bullitt car: the people that bought it, they bought it for $3,500 after it was in the movie. Because after it was in this movie, Steve McQueen at the time hadn't passed away. He was a star, but not that. He was a big star, but it was
nobody thought about collecting back.
They didn't think about it.
It wasn't an issue.
He bought the car for $3,500, and then about a year or two afterwards, Steve McQueen came to the family and said, "Listen, I'll buy you any car you want if you could just give me that one. Brand new, whatever you want." And they said, "No, this is our family car. We like it. We're keeping it." And they had it for 40 some odd years, and now have finally decided to auction it off. So it's a really big story. So you think it'll go for 25 million?
I have to say that, knowing the way people act,
yeah,
and knowing how having this car would be the ultimate status symbol, in history.
I got the Bullitt.
I mean, this is beyond anything you'd have. If I have this collection, I own the Bullitt car.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that in Hollywood right now, if you had to describe a car, and I know, for example, the Michael Keaton Batman mobile.
Yeah.
Batman was okay, but it wasn't. A whole generation didn't want this car. A whole generation. This movie was, in a way, people looked at it and they go, "Wow, this is the coolest guy ever. This is the one car.
Yeah.
This is this."
And it was a star of that movie.
I'm kind of I don't even want to say this, but I have a feeling that the term priceless might take this car up to 50 million, 100
because you
million.
can't recreate this car.
They said with this car there will be no limit.
They don't need a reserve.
No reserve on it. And I didn't think about it until you just said it, Jeff. That like the Batmobile. There were several Batmobiles.
Yes.
I always think, oh, that's got to be the most famous car in movie history. The original Batmobile from 1966.
7, 8, 10 of them.
But there's a bunch of those. Yeah.
One. And this car symbolized manhood to a lot of people. Not a geekiness, but a man. You were a dude. Steve McQueen was a dude. Bullitt, the car, and it was the car was probably as much a part of the movie as he was.
Oh, for sure.
And the idea that this one car is available and it is the ultimate status symbol. In movie lore. I mean, you would basically, if you have a collection of cars, if you're, I know these guys who have these Lamborghinis. I mean, for example, who's the boxer in Las Vegas? He's won like every fight.
Money Mayweather.
Mayweather owns I think like 50 million in cars and can't drive.
Oh, you can't even drive.
Anybody who has anything that they want to show, hey, listen, nobody is bigger than me. This is even worse than a Picasso. If you're willing to pay $68 million for a Pollock, who knows?
It's essentially
this car could literally go, and I don't want to keep saying this, but the more I think about it, if you are a dude and you want to show the world that you are the dude, not I own one Pollock, no, I own Bullitt.
If you got Jay Leno money. I mean,
beyond Jay Leno, you're talking about Arab sheiks who will be bidding on.
I love Bullitt car. Oh my goodness!
I own the Bullitt car to be able to tell any Hollywood celebrity I own the Bullitt car. It'll be like remember the ball that McGuire hit and everyone was going, okay, I need that ball. And that ball sold for like I think $5 million, $10 million. That wasn't Bullitt.
Right.
And now that we've been talking about it, I'm thinking, even these guys who are running the auction probably have no clue how bad it's.
Well, they know that. I just talked to the people from Mecum actually because they want to find out about my dad's car and how they can incorporate it because we're going to do a live broadcast out there. It's going to be a really big deal for the show to be out there with the Bullitt car. We get to take pictures with the Bullitt car, which is cool, and they're going to put my dad's car through the auction. And by the way, my dad's car is in perfect condition. It's great, and of course, but it was used in the Leave It to Beaver show. It's not like it was in Bullitt,
Right?
But
no, it wasn't.
Bullitt. It wasn't a Bullitt. But okay, so do you think the DeLorean from Back to the Future?
There were 7 of them.
So there's 7 of those.
There wasn't one.
Oh wow! So that's what makes this a really.
This is a one-off. This is a one-off, and the idea that I don't know if I'm the wealthiest guy on the planet and I want people to know I'm the wealthiest person, I own this car.
That's the one.
There's no, like when Ferrari or Lamborghini, they go, yeah, we made 50 of these cars.
Yeah.
And I need one of the 50 and I'm willing to pay $5-6 million for it.
Right.
In comparison to this car, it's one. And if I'm the richest guy in the world or I'm a sheik or I'm whoever, and I want to show how important I am, I own this car.
What other cars can you think of in movie history that have that kind of
Batmobiles?
The Batmobile, but just like Jeff said, there's several of them. I would love to have a Batmobile, but
like for example, Joey Fatone owned one of the Knight Rider cars.
Oh,
and there were like 6 of them. And I remember my friend Mark, my friend Eric was, used to have to take care of it, and he would drive it up. And I remember sitting in it, going, "Yeah, how." But it wasn't the same because there was more.
You knew there was more of them, yeah.
I'll tell you what, that very first Fast and Furious movie, the Supra from that movie probably went for a good piece of money because
there's so many Fast and Furious cars.
But there were like 10 different cars,
in
those movies. And every movie has a new one and a new one, and nobody's going to go, "Oh, that was the one."
But that first one for what that did for the Toyota Supra, which wasn't even production at the time of that movie. I don't know how many they had. Maybe they did have a bunch, but that was such a big deal for car guys, especially for that like market of like import cars, racing cars.
This car defines a generation.
Hey Jeff, is there a 007 car that could be up there with the
There's
Bullitt
a bunch of Bond cars that every year they had a new Bond car.
It's always like
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin, yeah.
And I think BMW bought into like when they were in Cuba. But the point is that I don't know a piece of Hollywood memorabilia or a piece of Hollywood would be considered more. Even, for example, the red slippers in Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
There were 5 sets of those.
Oh wow!
So it wasn't like there was just one thing. And I think in this case, to own the Bullitt car
is the big FU money.
that when I say Grail piece, I think of Grail pieces in the world, and I'm trying to think a bigger Grail piece as far as a collectible.
God, and imagine this family, Jeff. Imagine this family. They spent $3,500 for it 40 some odd years ago, and they are going to clean up.
It's valued between 2 and 4 million.
It is.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
I don't care.
But that's pre-auction price. Like if you were just to buy it,
who's? I'm talking right now. There are people in places in this world who would easily spend 20 to be able to say they own it.
Really? Yeah. Well, I guess and that's what's great about the Meekum auction.
Man, you think Jay Leno and Jerry Seinfeld are going to be at Meekum in Kissimmee?
Hey, well, when my wife worked Meekum 2 years ago, she's a paramedic. When she worked Meekum, Sammy Hagar was there, and Sammy Hagar, she said it was really funny because people, hey, Sammy, I love you. He goes, really, name me 3 Sammy Hagar songs, and nobody could do it because they got nervous. And he's like, I see you don't love me so much, which I think is funny as
that's really funny move to do.
Everybody goes, can't drive 55.
And every Van Halen song he sang, but those count.
But if he puts you on the spot, it's hard to think of it, and that's what she said he kept doing.
Hey, I buy your tequila. Is that enough? And they'll go Cabo Wabo.
Yeah, but if you're a fan, real quick, name 3 Kiss songs. Go.
Well, Rock and Roll All Night, Unholy, and Shock Me.
Okay. Yeah. What's your favorite band, Jeff?
God, it depends on how I feel that day.
He likes.
Oh, okay.
He likes Springsteen.
I also when I'm on the bike, it depends. When I'm riding a Harley, I like Van Halen 1 when I'm on the bike.
No, yes, Van Halen 1.
When I'm listening to Eruption.
Who discovered Van Halen?
I saw the whole thing. They were in California. They had these. They were in California doing shows for I think it was 2-3 years, and I mean they were on and off. I saw the documentary. I don't know who It was another band. Are you going to say Gene Simmons?
It was Gene Simmons of Kiss. Yeah, Gene Simmons discovered.
If he ever asks a question like that, the answer is definitely going to be Kiss.
You see what happened to me? I'm going. He's taking credit for Gene Simmons.
No, Gene. No, they give Gene credit too. Yeah, Gene found him at the. It was L.A. Strip there. Whiskey Go-Go, I think.
Yeah, and anytime you want to feel like a boss on the road. You're driving the Road King and you're listening to Van Halen 1. Yeah, and you're not even you feel nothing. It is a great feeling.
Man, I've been rocking out to Bob Seger lately.
Oh, man,
I love Bob Seger. I didn't know how much I loved Bob Seger.
You got to name all of it. That album, Against the Wind, just listen to the whole album, not just the hits, but the album.
So good.
I mean, it's really
okay. I know this is the nerdy news, and we're just.
This is nerdy
I know.
We're nerding out about music.
This is nerdy stuff.
I mean, I think and we talk about memorabilia and collectible stuff.
Yeah,
and it's amazing what people are willing to pay for, and they want part of their collection. That's why I think this Bullitt thing is a complete thing. This is the ultimate boss move.
Yeah.
If you walk in your house, could you imagine the Sheik is at the middle of his palace is the Bullitt car?
That's a Bullitt car from Steve McQueen owned.
What do you own? I own the Elvis guitar. I own the Bullitt car.
Yeah.
I have 4,000 Elvis suits.
Yeah.
I just need one piece.
Okay, if you could have a piece of memorabilia, I mean, obviously this is a nerdy news, so it could be nerdy stuff. It could be whatever. If you could have a piece of memorabilia, what would it be?
The cover of Amazing Fantasy number 15, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
That would be the piece that I could throw everything out in my house.
Yeah.
I could throw everything I've ever collected, statue butts, I'd go, it's gone. I just have this thing in a case that I've spent $20,000 to cement into the house so it can never leave the house.
Yeah.
It would be the cover to Amazing Fantasy number 15.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that was the first appearance of Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah.
And for me to have a piece of that artwork, and it's supposedly in the, I think it's in the Smithsonian.
Oh, wow.
Not the cover, but I know the pages are in there.
Holmesy, what about you?
Who owns the cover?
Any piece of memorabilia. We're nerdy news, so it can be nerdy or it can be anything else.
Well, there's 2. I definitely want the very first X-Men, and I know a guy.
X-Men 1?
Yeah, X-Men number 1. It's not even that expensive. I know a guy.
It is. It depends on what category you want it.
It's in the 6 figures if it's fresh.
No, you can get it for less than that.
That's what I'm saying. But like
when you say 6 figures, you're talking about tens of thousands.
Yeah, but
you know what 6 figures is, right?
A brand new
6 figures is 100,000.
X-Men number 1, Uncanny.
You know that you know why they call it 6 figures? Because there's zeros.
I know
that's 100,000.
Uncanny X-Men number 1 is over $100,000.
No,
if it absolutely is. Mint.
Well, who the hell's gonna buy a mint book? The fuck did you become money back? Sorry.
Look, when you do these numbers, you always go mint numbers. You don't go like
you're not gonna. Who the hell owns a mint book? What are you? Nicolas Cage?
This is the nerdiest news we've ever had. Okay, so you want the very first X-Men comic?
Yeah, I do. Or I want an
so the very first one, was it actually just X-Men?
So if I brought an X-Men one next week to the station, you'd like, oh wow,
I want to take a picture on Instagram with it. I would absolutely. I would treat it like a celebrity.
So did they have their own? It was their own comic, or was it part of something else?
X-Men 1 was the first appearance.
The first one
of the 5 X-Men, not Wolverine. Wolverine's first appearance was Hulk 181.
Yeah, there was an X-Men with no shoes on. What was that guy?
Beast.
Well, that's Beast.
But and it was before he was blue.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, you know all this though.
You have.
It was Iceman, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Angel, and Beast, and then Professor X.
Professor X.
Yeah,
right.
You really know. Okay,
yeah. Dude, I love the X-Men. They
start naming Cable.
What Cable? You talking about Nathan Summers? Yeah. When is his first appearance?
Mutants 87.
Oh, okay. Was he in?
So then you have Deadpool.
Deadpool, man, I like the movies of Deadpool. I think in the comics, I've read the comics, and it comes off a little one note at times, like where he's like always
I
talking.
Don't know, it's okay.
He's always breaking the fourth wall, and I'm like, stop breaking the fourth wall, just get to a point.
Oh, come on, Deadpool is awesome. That movie.
The movies are awesome, though.
I do love them.
I'm a big Ryan Reynolds fan. So
for me, it would just be the Batmobile from 1966.
Hell yeah, man.
Batman. That was Detective 27.
Huh? Oh yeah, no, but I mean, no, I want the actual Batmobile.
Which one?
The one from 1966.
So one of the 7.
One of the 7, yeah.
7 or 10.
Or I'll even take a duplicate of it. I don't care.
Well, you know the guy out in 10. Where is it? In
Coco
and Brevard. He can make you one.
I know they can.
Hey, listen,
it's expensive.
If you guys, we're going to do a Kickstarter, and it's going to call Get Russ the Batmobile.
Yeah, right.
And we're going to donate it.
Yeah, I'm not going to now. I won't do that. But yeah, that would be.
Could you imagine getting a Kickstarter? Say what happens at the last minute? Somebody donates $20,000 here. Here's your Batmobile.
I've seen that happen before.
Crazier things have happened. Hey, so going to nerdy news and everything. Our I think one of our favorite shows is Titans. Titans had a new episode this week.
Ooh, it's so good.
The Bruce Wayne.
Okay,
thing.
I was talking with somebody the other day. He had his own podcast, and he was talking. He was going, I'm a nerd and everything else. I said, but you haven't seen Titans. And he's like, well, no, then you're not.
Yeah,
you are not. I want you to know something right now. If you have not seen Titans, and you have a nerd card, just tear it up.
It's pretty good.
It is the top. I'd say the top comic book television show I have ever watched.
Yeah,
it is edgy, and they do it without money. It is. I mean, I watched Crypto carry this guy through a window and fly away, and I was going, oh, and let me make it clear, Crypto is a dumb idea. It's a Superman pet sidekick, but this dog was badass. And when they make something badass, no.
What is the background of the super dog Crypto?
You know, the truth is, I don't know.
It's a super dog. I mean, only
Superman's pet.
His eyes can,
he flies. He's strong. He shoots.
It's badass.
It fetches real good.
Hey, but so in Titans, when is Robin going to turn into Nightwing? Because that's got to happen soon, right?
I think he's going to confront Deathstroke.
Yeah. And
when he confronts, I saw the picture. He confronts Deathstroke, and he's dressed as Nightwing.
Oh, good.
So,
okay.
But I'm telling you, the Jason Todd character is so good. He's
good.
He's the kid who took over for Robin. He's the second Robin.
Yeah.
The third Robin was Damian, which is Bruce Wayne's actual child he had with Ra's al Ghul's
daughter. Yeah.
But Jason Todd is my favorite DC character. He becomes Red Hood later on, which is more of a Punisher vigilante character.
Yeah.
Which is so good. But you can see this kid's brewing. He's staring. He almost died. He's staring out normally when a character comes close to death on a comic book, they don't really think about it too much. They walk it off.
Yeah.
This kid sees him falling.
Yeah.
He sees it. It's like a day after, and he can't see himself not dying at that moment.
Yeah.
And he's just watching over and over again. And you're going, that's good writing.
Yeah.
That, and I like to say that in a comic book movie or a thing, sometimes sometimes a feeling is stronger than a punch to the face. And watching Todd suffer is fun. And the kid who plays Superboy, who's the combination between Superman and Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Oh, he's strong too.
Yeah.
Everybody is strong other than the Starfire character.
Yeah, the girl that it's just like some big old chicken.
They put her.
Oh no, I mean
they put her in a hooker outfit.
I mean when the girl dressed like a chicken.
That's Dove.
Yeah, I don't know. That's stupid.
That's the blonde girl.
Dove.
But that's Hawk and Dove. They were a character.
Yeah,
it bothers me less than the Starfire character, who all they do is put her in a hooker outfit, and every once in a while she sets something on fire.
I don't find her very important to the entire story.
And she's supposed to be.
She's not orange.
Yeah,
she's not orange.
Yeah,
I know it's hard. They don't want to make her orange, but they kept and for example, Guardians of the Galaxy, Gamora is green. They kept her green.
That's
you know what? She looks really good.
Yeah, she does.
So
look good.
you can do orange. I think if you can do green, you can do orange.
Hey, so when I watch Titans, then I'm there in my DC thing, and I'm like, well, there's nothing else to
DC
watch.
Universe out there's
nothing else to watch. But I did see the Shazam documentary that you told me about when we went to San Diego.
My buddy Jamie produced that thing.
Yeah, and then Carlos's friend Cooper. Yeah, he does the narrative.
Cooper narrated,
and that was really interesting. I had no idea how big Captain Marvel or Shazam was back in the 40s. I didn't know he was the first comic book movie for any superhero was Captain Marvel. I did not realize that. And then the Elvis thing that you told me about. Yeah. Elvis was a huge fan of Shazam.
So the boy, not the main character, but the brother, Freddie, he emulated his costume. That's where the lightning bolt is actually Freddie's chest mount.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
Taking care of business.
I remember I told you I saw it when we were at Comic-Con. I had to leave at 4 because I wanted to see this preview because my friend had produced it, and the amount of info I felt so stupid because I claim to be pretty knowledgeable on this. I'm willing to say I'm a 97% guy when it comes to this stuff.
He's a character not a lot of people know about. And now I wish DC would do that for all characters on their DC universe thing, because there's just such.
But how many are as interesting as this, though?
Well,
that's tough. This was the most unknown.
No, I think every comic book hero has an interesting story. The story of Wonder Woman is really interesting because the guy that invented the polygraph is the guy that came up with Wonder Woman. He also was into bondage. Whatever, but
it's so strange. I actually sat in a panel. I was at Dragon Con, and it was sexuality in comic books, and they were actually trying to explain off the Wonder Woman that it wasn't about bondage. It was just about. Let me explain what it was about.
Yeah.
It was about getting a 7-year-old to go, I want that.
Yeah.
You know, any comic book that was made in that period of time, they had to entice the teenage kid. Anyone from 9 to like 15. So every cover had like a woman in a weird position. And I don't want to say that those covers caused got more workout than Sears catalogs did.
Well,
you never know. You're never going to know it's going to affect a kid. Like I worked with a girl, and her boyfriend had a real big foot fetish, right? And he said he got his foot fetish from watching an episode of the animated series of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And there was a scene where April is washing one of the turtles' feet.
Yeah, not just feet.
One of his feet.
They got 4 of them.
And then he was like, "Yep, this is what I like forever." Like, and because of that,
okay,
so you never know what affects you.
Nerdy news confessional. Okay, was there a comic book character that when you were a teen, when you were a little kid? Because I will tell you straight up, Vampirella. I never read Vampirella. I just looked at the pictures of her. I'm like, oh my god, she's so hot. I don't even know if she's a good girl, bad girl. I have no idea what Vampirella is. I just know she's hot as hell.
Daphne from Scooby-Doo.
Daphne from Scooby-Doo.
Hey,
all right.
She's pretty hot.
Hey, listen, that's the way you grew up with. Daphne running around in the purple dress.
I liked it. All right. How about you, Holmesy?
Psylocke from the X-Men.
Oh man, you are just.
I'll show you this.
I have no idea what she looks like.
I'll show you this character.
That's a semi-Asian girl who was played by the girl who used to do the. She just.
Psylocke.
No, this character was just pure sexy character.
She was the English Asian girl with the.
She had like no pants on. Is this chick?
Oh, okay.
That's just an Electra costume.
She was purple hair.
That's the Electra costume, dude.
Hot. And
it's a rip-off Electra costume.
Now pull up my girl.
Pull up Electra.
Pull up Vampirella. See what you get.
Well, Vampirella's a lot of hooker. My buddy. It's done by Dynamite now.
Oh wow!
And
Jesus.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Vampirella is just all about
her.
I don't even know what she does.
My buddy Nick Ferrucci publishes that book. He's the publisher at Dynamite.
She's a vampire.
He does that book, and Billy Tucci does covers of her all the time.
Oh really?
So maybe for your birthday.
She's a vampire. She's a very cold vampire.
Do you have a birthday coming up?
No, February.
Okay, good.
February,
Right.
something like that.
What do you mean nothing? Like 4 days.
4
months.
4 months. Yeah. But but I mean, from Scooby Doo,
Daphne.
I mean, as I got older, Velma actually looks pretty hot. I'll be honest with you.
Velma was a very thing because I was kind of confused because it's kind of the idea that, how women have gay friends that they think can turn.
Yeah.
I think I could turn Velma.
I think everybody could.
I think the idea we can turn Velma.
Who'd you find?
Oh, no, I was just laughing. I think I could turn Velma.
I could turn Velma.
No,
I'm not Big Sexy might be able to turn Velma.
There was this one other one. I just found it. Okay, so there's a comic by Image, and it was called Gen 13.
Yep. Oh, okay.
And then this comic, when I was a 12-year-old boy.
Oh, when you're 12,
that's pull up a type in bondage Wonder Woman.
Oh my God!
And see, and imagine you're
a work computer, sir.
Imagine you're a kid in the 40s.
Oh, you're doing research.
Okay.
This is
I'm gonna type in 1940s.
the only thing you got to do, you got the Sears catalog that comes once a month that you look in the brassiere section. But other than that, this is what you got, or the pinups from the Coca-Cola pinups, which were cartoons and
Just
everything.
type in the word bondage. Nobody knows it's you.
We'll blame it on the Latino thing that just came. That was before us.
Yeah. Blame it on.
Yeah, because they stole our podcast.
Yeah, they took 20 minutes. We'll go.
We'll blame it on Johnny Magic. His office is right there.
Okay.
Put in bondage.
All right.
It's not a dirty word. It's real.
Wonder Woman. She's like, what? Her whole thing is bondage, even today.
Well, she ties you up with her lasso.
Yes, but all those covers were meant to get teenage boys to buy the books.
Sure,
that's it.
I mean, it worked.
That's what it was, and it made a lot of money. And the thing is that no women bought Wonder Woman when it came out. It was all just a bunch of teenage boys.
Oh my God! Here's a sample of a Wonder Woman comic from the 1940s.
Yeah.
A lady in a cat suit is whipping what appears to be a tiny person who's a little fat, and then Wonder Woman's tied up.
Oh, you tell me this isn't all about trying to get a boy to go, ooh, I'm into little people.
So my point is, so that would be a super interesting story about Wonder Woman. Batman, very interesting story. Superman, interesting.
Well, they've done a bunch of Batmans already. They the Fingerman videos, documentaries. They've done this. It's when they do a character that you're not used to seeing,
like a Green Lantern.
No, maybe, but the Green Lantern is probably a generic thing, a generic creation.
I always thought the Green Lantern was kind of dopey.
I mean,
got a dopey ring that can do all kinds of dopey stuff.
The problem with Green Lantern is he's limited by the power of his mind.
Yeah.
And he can only think of weapons that exist in his time. So he can literally make anything, but sometimes he just makes a baseball bat, and you're like,
boom, boom. I'm gonna make a big hammer.
Hey, keep it simple, stupid.
You could have made a jet fighter. You went with baseball bat.
Let me make a cat of tails with monkey heads. No, it's easy. Give me a bat.
Yeah, and he wasn't at home in private time making a girlfriend.
And think about this way. I think it might be I don't want to think because as I'm writing this stuff, I'm going, is it harder for him to pay attention to how complicated the creation he does is? It's like, well, a bat's easy. If I have to come up with a catapult with things that move and all this stuff, that's a lot of thinking.
And what I didn't realize is there's a bunch of the Green Lantern has a bunch of people. In his planet, there's
he's he's not even a special.
He ain't even special.
There. The ring goes to people in different sectors. I'm the Green Lantern of sector this. So where you could be a blob and you're the only one, and you get on your planet.
You're the blob Green Lantern.
When you're a kid, I remember the Flash being a really popular character because everyone liked to think they could run fast. I'm the Flash. It was easy as a kid to believe that you were the Flash.
But the problem with the Flash.
The problem with
the problem with the Flash is to everybody else, the Flash is going super fast, but to Barry, he's running in real time,
Wally, or
whoever. But for him, so he'll run to Los Angeles from New York, but he's doing it in real time for him.
Do you think it's really real time for him?
It would have to be.
No. I think it's like how Jim Carrey used to have to take special classes so he could deal with it. He probably does a lot of crap in his head while he's doing these things.
Yeah.
And also the problem is, imagine a split second. You're going so fast that you have to pay attention to a tree limb or a piece of grass or anything around you.
Oh yeah, because a blade of grass floating through the wind.
Yes, you have to be absolutely focused on what you're doing at the time. And
gotcha.
I mean, I think I was really thinking about Flash the other day because, every once in a while I think about writing it and I go, how would I write him? I said, the memory that he has to go out of his mind to forget stuff because he's processing so much information that you would go crazy. You'd fill up your brain in a second. So all the stuff you're processing.
So Swamp Thing is considered a DC product, right?
Yes. Yep. And Man Thing is Marvel's version of it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. All right. Yeah, because I don't know.
I won't remember my own damn name someday, but I'll remember that
stuff like that. I don't know where Swamp Thing came from. I remember as a kid seeing the comic and I was afraid to read it because it looked scary, so I wouldn't read Swamp Thing.
Like, Swamp Thing came before Man Thing, but it's a. But it's strange how Marvel and DC swap characters.
Yeah,
like Deadpool was the ultimate ripoff. Deadpool was a ripoff of
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke, right?
And in fact, the name they didn't even try. Slade Wilson, Wade Wilson.
Yeah,
they didn't even try. It's like what's his name? Who's the guy who created Deadpool? I know his name. I know him. He's a nice guy. But he said it's an absolute ripoff.
You know what's funny though? I was talking about this the other day with someone about villains, and you really can't name a better villain than Joker. Like into all of comic book history, there's been all kinds of, they've tried.
But notice how Harry Osborn kind of Green Goblin, kind of reminds you of the Joker
a little bit.
It's the same idea. You have two psychotic people who have their arch enemies.
Yeah,
are the most popular characters from both brands. Well, I don't want to say Batman and Spider-Man are the two most popular characters from both brands.
And then with Superman, you got Lex Luthor, but he just doesn't have the same bite as
he's a human being. And every time they try to give him powers, you're like, don't give him powers. He was a smart guy. Let him.
Joker's a human being too, and so is Green Goblin.
Well, Batman's a human being.
Yeah,
but Spider-Man has powers.
Yeah,
Goblin has powers.
He does.
Joker has no powers.
I thought Goblin just
Goblin
he's like a super
serum.
soldier guy.
It's a serum that made him crazy.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, you think of it, Joker's got no power. Lex Luthor has no power. Batman has no power.
Yeah.
So you want your villains to at least be close,
even
on the physical level. Yeah. Because it's no fun when one can dominate the other so easily. Now, Superman, the weird thing about Superman is he could kill you from space.
Right.
He didn't even have to go with
laser your face.
He could go from like
moon,
2,000 miles away and go, all right, let me set Metallo's ass on fire from here.
Yeah.
I mean, he could do that. And, but they don't do that.
Hey, they mentioned this, and I was going to ask you about this. Boy, this is really nerdy, geeky stuff here. But in that special, they said what people don't realize is Superman can be beat by kryptonite and also magic.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Magic can beat Superman. So, like, David Copperfield could beat Superman.
Oh, Harry Potter will whoop Superman's ass.
I mean,
real magic. We're not talking like, here, look, 3 balls.
Oh, okay.
No, we're not talking.
Yeah,
look, 3 balls.
Siegfried and Roy kick Superman's ass all day.
Okay.
Stick a tiger on his head.
I'm out.
So
I'm out.
Explain when you say magic can beat Superman.
Real magic.
Oh.
Now, like, for example, a Mixoplex is one of those that uses it's magic, but it's pseudo technology, but it's magic.
Oh.
So it's the same thing applies.
So, like in the Lord of the Rings.
Did I say that right? Mixoplex. I wonder if I said that right.
I don't know. If you say it backwards, it goes away, right?
Mr. Mixoplex.
Well, I'm not going away.
So if he was in Lord of the Rings where they do magic, then that could beat Superman.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You shall not pass.
I did not know that.
And Superman suddenly craps himself. That's great.
Hey, so you said you had some questions you want to ask us to see if to quiz
okay.
us?
All right. I'm going to talk about lawsuits.
Okay.
Lawsuits and Disney lawsuits.
Okay.
And you tell me if they're real or not. Okay.
Okay.
Let's just see. Here it goes. Disney rumors that are actually cruise. The Beatles officially broke up at Disney World.
That's true. John Lennon signed some paperwork at Disney World yes.
Okay. That is true. Look at you. Song of the South has never been released on home video in America.
That is not true, I don't believe. I think it was released and then it was pulled off.
Exactly right.
I love Song of the South. It's a great movie. It should not be banned. I don't care what anyone says.
Disneyland is home to dozens of feral cats.
Disneyland
in California
is home
to a bunch of feral cats,
like
wild cats.
I would say this is probably true. In some area, there's probably a bunch, and they won't remove them. I don't know.
It's lousy with mice, so I'm going to say yes.
Well, what's funny is you were being a wise ass, but you're absolutely true.
What?
Because they have a huge mouse problem in Disneyland.
Yeah,
they have a huge actual, not like Mickey, hi. No, the actual rats that they've released an ass load of cats. And these cats have been there for 30, 40 years.
Cats don't
they just keep burning. And during the day, the cats all hide. But at night, the cats come out and eat their mouse.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Disney has solved the problem without bait, without anything else.
Is there ever a problem with the cats? The cats don't, they don't attack people.
No.
Cat poo-poo. Is there cat poo-poo around Disneyland?
I've never seen a cat poo.
Okay. Well.
I've seen people fighting on videos, but I don't see that.
Okay, good point.
There was originally a lingerie shop at Disneyland.
Oh, I don't think that's accurate.
I don't know. The 60s was a weird time. I'm going true.
I'd say negatory.
Ryan gets it.
Really?
Yeah.
There was an actual lingerie shop on Main Street. It opened in 1955. The Intimate Apparel Shop, it was called.
It was just a Daffy Duck outfit, no pants.
Here's what I realized. He never puts in, every time he does trivia, he never puts in a no. So if he asks it, it's got to be a yes.
We'll see on this one.
Okay, all right.
The vultures in the Jungle Book. You know the scene where the vultures all sing?
Yeah.
They were supposed to be voiced by the Beatles.
Yes, that's true. I remember seeing that. Yes.
And what was funny out of it is they originally wanted to do it, couldn't do it, and then they wanted it to be a barbershop quartet or something.
So didn't they get someone to sound like Ringo?
Yes.
Yeah.
They all gave them, it was just weird, but I mean,
yeah.
Okay. Soviet Union, Nikolae Khrushchev wanted to visit Disney World in 1959.
I would think so. Everybody wants to go to Disney World.
Yep, even the Russians wanted. Yeah. Even during the Cold War, they wanted to hang out at Disney World.
I wouldn't mind going to Disney,
Yeah. And let me see one of the last ones that we pull up. Oh, currently right now a Universal one. There is a New York resident who is suing Universal Studios. Well, we'll just talk about this.
For what?
They have unlimited soda, and there are chips. And the chip allows you to refill this glass once every 10 minutes.
So it's a chip in the cup, right?
Chip in the cup.
Yeah.
And the reason why they do that is because they don't want you just pouring stuff into other cups and feeding. So they give you one. So at least every 10 minutes, if you want to,
you're not feeding your whole family. Diet
off of
Coke.
one cup.
What's the there's like a chip.
There's a microchip in the cup. So you scan it and then it pours you the soda.
And it only works every 10 minutes.
Oh,
well, he's going. This guy's suing because he says this is deceiving because it's not unlimited. So I can only get 6 Cokes an hour in comparison to what it could be. So he's suing on the unfair, deceptive acts. And the problem is I'm going, what is your loss?
Yeah.
And if he says, listen, I could have drank 70 glasses. So it cost you, let's say,
you die though.
Well, the funny thing is it's not about really the money. It's about them being able to sell the cups because Coke is only 6 cents a cup.
Yeah.
So the idea of the soda costing more than 6 cents. And then go, well, we were trying to save 12 cents. It wasn't about that. It's that they don't want you to steal.
So what kind of an attorney, though, takes something like that, Jeff?
A bag of... listen, I'm trying to think of the weirdest things I've sued over. And guy was the weirdest thing is I represented a guy who was he was eating chips with his son on a Sunday. He's watching football and they're dipping into the dip, and I'm not going to say what dip it was because there's a confidentiality agreement.
Okay.
And halfway through, as he goes to stick it out, he realized there's maggots in his dip.
Oh,
no. Okay. God. Now.
Goodness.
I was thinking to myself, what are your actual damages? And the actual damages were $10,000, if you're wondering.
Yeah.
But I was embarrassed to actually file the lawsuit.
Why?
Because I was thinking to myself, what are my actual damages here? It's gross.
You ate maggots.
But how you I can't eat dip again. I can't sit with my son. I can't watch a Miami Dolphin football game. And that's as far as I've gone with craziness. But I have to tell people all the time when they call me up and they're going, I fell down at Disney. Are you okay? Yes. And how'd you fall down? Well, my sister poured the drink and I walked through it. Are you want to sue your sister?
Yeah, right.
No, I want to sue Disney World. Why do you want to sue Disney? Because it happened at Disney. Just because something happens there doesn't make them responsible.
I mean, it's their fault. Yeah.
So I see these suits and I'm like going, God, you're filing a lawsuit against a company for no reason other than you don't, you just do certain things.
Yeah.
And I can understand how you could be affected in a bad way, but suing over how much Coke you can get.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
But that's the world we live in. So I don't try to think about too much of it. Characters, I mean, you watched, the reason I brought this up is because, as you know, Shazam, the reason why DC owns Shazam is because they filed suit against Shazam and said that he's too much like Superman.
And it was, I didn't realize it. And I saw the documentary you're talking about, and they show panel for panel. It's like, okay, this is Superman. And then after pulling up the elevator shaft.
Yeah.
And he tried to say, well, I had an elevator shaft where I live. So I just wrote the story. And I could almost see that. But then there was another
It was the lie he told. And I had to pull the cables up to get the play.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was the lie he told.
Okay, I'm going to give you a thing. If you're in a courtroom, do whatever you can not to lie, because if you lie once, your case is over. Because people, yes, you can win every once in a while, but the jury's not going to believe you. A judge isn't going to believe you. And that's what happened in Shazam. One of the creators lied and said he had never read Superman before.
Right.
He wasn't inspired by Superman. Nothing in it. But the problem is he obviously did. And people steal. They steal ideas all the time. But all he had to say was, "Yeah, I saw the character do it, but this is not my character." Yes, we borrow moments, but we're not stealing the character. We're borrowing a moment that we've seen. And yeah, I might have seen him rip up an elevator. I don't know, but that had nothing to do with the create. They were saying that the Shazam character was Superman.
And it
wasn't, because they're different. They get their powers in different ways. They're two strong guys who fly, basically, and wear spandex.
But they caught this guy. This guy said he had never seen a Superman comic book. And then he had a friend of his that worked with him. And like, yeah, he's reading Superman all the time. And he got totally busted. And that's
the reason why the company, that's when an attorney doesn't sit down with their client and go, okay, come clean with this.
Yeah.
This is the evidence they're putting forward. And it took 12 years for a judge to make that decision. And then he made the decision, and then it stopped all production of the book. So for 10, 12 years, the thing went, but the word Shazam was such a popular thing that they couldn't do anything about it. They go, "Oh, we want to say Shazam. We want to do this." Now, the funny thing about Captain Marvel, during this period of time, Marvel created their own character.
And was it a woman at first?
Well, it was a man. It was always a Kree soldier. But the weird thing about that is because DC shelved Shazam because of their lawsuit, the people who owned Shazam didn't renew the trademark.
Yeah.
So that's how Marvel grabbed the trademark. And Shazam, when DC bought Shazam, they couldn't call him Shazam. They couldn't call him Captain Marvel, so they just call him by his catchphrase, Shazam.
What did their Captain Marvel look like? The one that the Marvel started with?
I believe it was a green costume with he had like a helmet. It was a green Kree warrior costume. And then Captain Marvel became then it was a more colorful costume like the one she wears.
Yeah, now it's a woman.
Yeah. And then actually before her, there was another Captain Marvel who was black, and she was from New Orleans. And in Captain Marvel, the movie, they actually showed her as a little girl.
Yeah.
She's LeBeau.
You know what I found interesting is they said that when they did the first Superman movie, when they were about to do the second Superman movie, they wanted to have Christopher Reeves fight against Captain Marvel, and that was kind of the plan that they were going to do. But then
I don't know why they didn't in the fourth movie when they brought that weird superhero guy with the Electro guy. I forgot what he was, and they fought. It was really stupid. Richard Pryor was in it. Yeah. Oh my God, that's when you know you're jumping the shark. Let me think. I got a superhero movie. Let's put Pryor in it.
Yeah. There's the original.
That's the original
Captain Marvel from Marvel.
Yeah, green with he had the weird helmet.
Okay, all right. Well,
I'm embarrassed. I know that. That's taken.
I've never heard that. So props to you.
Look at you know what Ryan does?
Yeah,
Ryan is the ultimate ball slapper. He hears something. He goes, "I'm gonna slap him."
I know.
And then he looks it up.
I just wanted to see it.
He was questioning.
He's a hate to tell you. It was a purple costume.
But it was 1967, not 1968.
Yeah, I remember.
You're like my people in a panel. Hey, Jeff, just so you know, Spider-Man was actually shut up. Not true.
I
wasn't going to say his name's actually Marvel, but it's a whole thing.
Oh, was it Marvel?
Yes, that's how they pronounce it. But everyone calls him Captain Marvel. Trust me, nobody at Marvel's going, "I'm watching Captain Marvel." No.
Tomorrow night, you're going to do your trivia.
Yeah,
and it's going to be out at Bubbaloo's Barbecue,
6 to 8.
I think you got a big crowd coming. I know my son's bringing a bunch of people, and I'm going to try to make it out there. Jeff usually
one of us. No, okay.
Jeff usually goes out and does pretty well.
I might. Wow, holy. I might go out. The problem is this. Are you going?
It depends.
He ain't going.
Depends on my wife.
Because you know what's going to happen? I'm going to get stuck in a team. I'm going to lose, and Ryan's going to root for me to lose.
Well, no, my son's going.
He roots against me.
I do.
I show up to show him love, and the whole time he's going, as long as Kaufman doesn't win. I'm like, dude, I came to a Popka for you, man.
Right.
I'm the bullseye to your Daredevil.
I drove an hour and a half through rush hour traffic to be there for you, so you can look up every once in a while and go, "Yeah, thanks for coming."
That's tomorrow at Bubbaloo's Barbecue.
And I'm putting full maximum effort into my trivia. I did it last week, and I only had a few people there, but I'm photoshopping stuff. I've got audio stuff. It's super fun.
Oh, good. You're going away this weekend. Do a little cruise?
I'm taking all 12 staff members that work with us. We're all going to the Bahamas.
Good. That's awesome.
We're taking a cruise, and I've told everyone, don't talk to me. I'm giving you the best gift possible. my lack of presence.
Okay.
And I'll be in the room sleeping, and I got to do some writing. You and I got some writing to do.
I know. I need to
not today, but next week maybe.
I need to get back into the because now this is the final scenes that we're in for Jolly Jane for the issue.
We're working on trying to finish up volume 2.
Volume 2, yeah. So, if you want to get Jolly Jane or any of the great graphic novels from Big City Comics, it's bigcitycomics.com. That's bigcitycomics.com.
And on the website right now, we have a special dealing with the New York City Comic Con exclusives. Issues 1 through 4 are on sale with their prints for $60 now.
All right, very cool.
There's only I think 20 sets of it left.
Hey, if you like the nerdy news, spread the word. If you got friends up north, you got friends around the country that you think like nerdy stuff, let them know about the podcast. They don't have to listen to the Monster Show. They just gotta love nerdy stuff. And once again, I want to thank Jeff Kaufman and Lynn. It's whenyouneedus.com. That's whenyouneedus.com.
Enjoy our nonsense.
Swirls.